Just when you thought Sharks Preds couldn't get crazier, they found a way to top it.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, here to take out the reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, even when this happens. So if you want to be an everyday, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're going to go through a pretty boring affair. No, we have chaos between the Sharks and the Preds as the Sharks lose 6-5. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to talk about everything that happened in this game, because this game literally had everything. We'll talk about Smith's continued growth, Macklin Celebrini doing Macklin Celebrini things, and Askarov not looking Askarov, and dig into the numbers behind this crazy game. So before we get to all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. I don't know, man. I struggle to where to start with this, because this game literally had everything, right? You had the Sharks looked like it was going to get boat raced, right? You're going to get boat raced in this game. You have 3 fights in 4 seconds. You have a 5-minute major penalty. You have the Sharks come back from a 3-goal deficit. You have 11 goals combined in this game. You had even with the 11 goals, you still had brilliant moments of goaltending. Yeah, I thought after Tuesday's game, where the Sharks gave up a 5-1 lead, I thought this was going to be a much kind of calmer game. No, they cranked it back up between these two. And let's start with the beginning of this game, which I was really disappointed with the way the Sharks started this game. Like, you just got blown out. Like, you gave up 6 straight goals to the Preds to end that game on Tuesday. Then you come out and you give up 3 straight, and just a horrible start to this game. The Sharks, they did something I've never seen, where you have a fight off the draw. Okay, we see that all the time. Luke Cunning goes to the box for fighting, and then a draw, and then Barclay Goodrow goes to the box for fighting, and then you have another draw, and Ty Dellandrea goes to the box for fight. So you have 3 fights within a 4-second period. Honestly, I'm not like the biggest fights get me riled up. I get if that's your thing or whatever, and if it works for the bench, but I don't know, man. But apparently it worked, as it got the Sharks were able to score 2 goals pretty quickly, in the end of the first period, to kind of get themselves back in this game. This game had it just had so much stuff going on in this game. There's a bajillion penalties. There's a 5-minute major where Ty Dellandrea gets knocked out. Not saying a concussion, but if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a concussion. Dirty hit from Cole Smith, deserved to get kicked out of that game. I know there's going to be Preds fans to say that he hit the shoulder first, or that was intent to injure, man. Like, that dirty hit from Cole Smith to knock Ty Dellandrea out. You hope Ty Dellandrea is okay, but again, you and I have you've probably seen enough sports to know, when a guy's like that, he's lying on the ice, he's kind of staggering. yeah, we're probably not going to see Ty Dellinger for a little bit. So hopefully though he's feeling better. So but you saw shaky goaltending from Askarov. We'll talk about Askarov more here. You saw the Sharks struggle, like we've seen them struggle. You see them play really well for a little bit. You see them take advantage of a 5-minute power play. You see the penalty kill fall off the rails. Like, yeah, this game, this team, I just because it feels like anytime they start to kind of figure something else out, something else goes off the rails, right? And the penalty kill was atrocious tonight. The power play looked okay, but there was just a parade of like the Sharks couldn't get any, especially in the third period when you're down a goal and you're trying to get back in this game. You couldn't get any momentum because you kept taking dumb penalties. And like we saw this happen kind of like October, November, where this team just could not stay out of the penalty box, and you're kind of starting to see it again. And then the penalty kill is not being able to kind of live up to. But there's really, as crazy as this game is, there's really nothing to take out of it because it's just such a crazy game, right? Like, what are you going to take out of this game and try to build off of it? You could take plenty of stuff that you need to work on, but like, there was just so much weird stuff in this game. Like if we just started, like we had a 5-minute major, like, how often does that happen? Maybe a couple times a year, right? A game with 3 fights in it, like let alone 3 fights back to back, or a game where we have like 11 goals in it. Like this, I don't know, man. This game like hurts my head to try to kind of figure out and try to pull anything from other than at least they're more entertaining, right? At least the Sharks are more entertaining. That's what we asked for this season. They're way more entertaining than what we got last year because like this game, like it was so riveting, you couldn't stop watching because you literally didn't know what to expect next. Like you could have told me you could have told me Macklin Celebrini hat trick with like a Michigan in there, and I'm like, you know what, the way this game's being played, cool. Or Askarov goalie goal, and Askarov almost felt like he went for a goalie goal when the Sharks won, even though Noonan was in net. Like Askarov tried to clear it. Just an absolute, just drunk affair from both these teams. Yeah, I'm just boggles the mind. So, the fighting thing though, like I know again, like a lot of fans are gonna point to be like that was kind of the turning moment. I don't get it, to be honest. Like the whole fighting thing, like cool, it hypes you up and stuff like that. But this team just put up 6 unanswered goals on Tuesday, and you came out flat. If you need like Luke Cunnin and Barclay Goodrow and Ty Dellinger to fight to get you going for this game, I think that was kind of the most disappointing. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, but just like you just saw this team on Tuesday, right? First game home after a long road trip. And I know sometimes those first game home, it can be a little bit of a mush, kind of that first 20 minutes or so. But like you should have been amped up. And I know Askarov, I think we'll talk again, we're going to talk about Askarov here a fair amount, but I think Askarov might have been a little bit too amped up. And I still don't think he's 100% coming off of his illness. But like having all those guys just kind of go out there and fight like 3 in a row, that is not something I want to see constantly. Like it's not, I don't know, man. It just doesn't do it for me, I guess. And if it does it for you and you want to see guy like if it, maybe it's like there were ace in the hole, like you only pulled out once in a while, but it felt weird to me, especially when they're just going like one at a time like that. Like it felt weird to me, but apparently it worked as the Sharks were able to kind of find their legs after that and at least make it an entertaining game. So we'll continue to look at this game. We'll talk about Will Smith, who's quietly played very well since his benching. Macklin Celebrini continues to do Macklin Celebrini things as he's now taken the lead again for the rookie goal scoring. And Askarov, who played pretty poorly tonight. So we'll get to those guys here in just 1 second. I love going to live sporting events. Whenever you get a chance to go to the tank, maybe you want to go see Steph Curry and the Warriors, or whatever event you want to go to, you need to check out Game Time. Game Time has made it even easier to get tickets to your favorite events with their new feature, Game Time Picks. This feature filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. We used it to go see the Sharks Flames right around Christmas time. It was easy. It was great. Got tickets 10 rows behind the net. Got to watch Askarov do Askarov things. Great time with my family. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, before we continue, talk about a bunch of the rookies here. Do want to, of course, thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe, especially on YouTube as we continue our draft coverage. We try to figure out what this team is, try to figure out who the best player for the Sharks. Plenty of free agency stuff as the Sharks are going to have $1 billion to spend. So great time to subscribe right now if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to podcasts. Leave a review, especially on Apple. Great way to get the algorithm out there so more people will find Locked On Sharks. So yeah, Will Smith, quietly has been putting together a string of really nice games, and tonight had another assist, beautiful assist on the Fabian Zetterlund, like this close to scoring a goal. Like if he shoots it like half a second earlier, he probably beats Annunen. But you're seeing, especially right, he got benched, and we were talked about after he got benched. How does he respond? And I was pretty positive, like saying, you know what, this is this is going to happen. And Will Smith has played really well since then. 3-game point streak right now for the Sharks, and especially on a team again that I know the last 2 games they put up 10 goals. But still, in general, like a Sharks team that has kind of struggled to score, and you've seen him, especially now playing with Zetterlund, Granlund, and Will Smith. Like that line has started to kind of click together here. Mikael Granlund had 3 assists tonight, which is good because Mikael Granlund, we saw, right? Granlund's offense kind of went in the tank recently, and the Sharks offense also went into the tank. We're seeing Granlund start to kind of round back into form here. And I think having Will Smith, who's such an also creative player, you're starting to see that line start to click here a little bit, which is good. The Sharks really do need that. So good to see from Will Smith. And, like he's playing kind of back-to-backs. Like you're starting to, I think the Sharks are really starting to take the training wheels off of Will Smith and let him kind of run now that he's starting, I think, to kind of prove and, show a lot more, I think, from kind of game in, game out. You're not having to kind of dig as much for some of those highlights for him. It's like Will Smith's making a bigger and bigger impact. Again, Smith has plenty of stuff he's going to need to work on, right? But this is what you want to see. You want to see growth from Will Smith, and you're seeing growth from Will Smith. And even from, a week or so ago when he got benched, you're seeing growth from Will Smith, and it's good to see. It's good to see. It's nice to see a player kind of, take that moment and use it as a learning lesson and play some of his best hockey since then. So great to see from him. He was really good tonight. I thought he was really good. If you're in a plus minus, he was a +3 in a game where the Sharks gave up 6 goals. Again, plus minus is not my favorite stat, but I know people will definitely kind of point to that. He also played 16-17 tonight in a game, again, where the Sharks they had five penalty kills. Will Smith Will Smith isn't sniffing the puck, is sniffing the ice from the Sharks on the penalty kill. He still played 16-17 tonight. So good to see from Will Smith. So Celebrini, I mean, another goal tonight, continues to just be ridiculous. They're like his passing and his passing, man, and the way he creates time and space. And there's this play where he's like, it's in the offensive zone. He has the puck kind of on his left side, and there's a guy, again, bigger guy, kind of, I don't remember who's in front of him, but much bigger guy. And the way he's able to kind of like, it almost reminds me if you ever played like Rainbow Six or something, you kind of like behind the wall and you kind of peek out. He kind of does that where he's like in, like behind a much bigger player, kind of peeks out, sees that there's a lane there, and just makes this like little pass straight into the slot where there's like a bunch of Sharks players there. It's he's so good, guy. Like, he's so freaking good. He just continues to grow and develop. And you saw the Smith, it was good to see Tyler Toffoli back tonight. Like, that line was, we'll dig into the numbers here in a minute, but that line was excellent again tonight. I know they gave up 2 goals, a little bit of puck watching on there from them, but especially I think it was the second goal where they were out, but they were still really good tonight. Arguably the Sharks' best line, I would say. Yeah, they're just going to keep racking it up, and Celebrini's going to keep racking up the point. I'm like, he's at 15 goals now, and the Sharks have like 30 games left. Is 25 goals out of the question for Macklin Celebrini? Like, the way he plays, man, he's getting more ice time. He's getting like, I love how they put him, Ryan Warsofsky, especially like the end of a penalty kill. Like, you'll put him out there, even if there's like 10 seconds left and there's like a zone draw, or like his line's the next shift to try to take advantage of especially the team, right? They're going to use all their best players on their power play. You kind of try to steal a shift or try to steal possession to regain momentum. And I love how Celebrini's line has always looked to do that. So, yeah, he was really good tonight again. Askarov, though, tonight, I felt was really shaky. And again, I know he's coming back from an illness, right? And he's definitely not 100%. You saw, like, how many times did you see him push off? Like, Askarov is really good at pushing off, right, and kind of being in the right spot. And it felt like tonight he was just over pushing. And how often did you see him kind of like, or if you didn't watch the game, like, he would push and like he would like over, almost like Martin Jones, or like late stage Martin Jones, where like to overcompensate the athleticism starting to decline, where Martin Jones would just over push and he's like out in Narnia. You were starting to kind of see that from Askarov tonight. And I wonder if a little bit of the nerves and whatever it was playing your former team, I wonder if he's maybe a little too amped up for it, if he's just still not 100%. Something to keep an eye on here, right? He played okay-ish against the Bruins. Did not play well tonight, I think, to be honest. Is it, yeah, I know he had some time off. I know he was sick. Are we just kind of maybe chalking it up to that? See how he kind of performs in his next game. I assume he's going to play, sometime next. I assume Gorg is going to play against the Panthers on Saturday. Do you see him play? I think the Sharks play on Monday. If I recall correctly, I think they play on Monday. Like, does he get another game on Monday? Yeah, they play the Penguins on Monday. Then they're off again until Thursday. Do we see just Gorgiev play the next few games here? Like, I'm really kind of curious to see how the Sharks handle this, especially with Askarov, if he's not 100%. So, and even like his numbers tonight were not great at all. He had, in all situations, he made 32 saves on 38 shots, 6 goals against on 4.24 expected goals for. like that great. 842 save percentage, 581 goals against, 7 of 10 on high danger, which is, that's solid. 14 of 15 on mid danger and 11 of 13 on low danger. But it just didn't look like Askarov, who's so like technically sound and so, like has the athleticism. It just felt like he was just not comfortable. They said it on the broadcast, right? He just didn't look comfortable. And this easily is his worst game. So we'll see. Again, I think I'm not ringing the alarm. Askarov's going to be totally fine. I have all the confidence in the world that Askarov's going to be good. I'm just, I'm curious to see how the Sharks kind of play this here, especially with Vitek Vanecek expected to start practicing here soon. So, yeah, we'll dig into the numbers of this game, talk about the forward lines, talk about the Cunnin line, which was something tonight. So we'll get into that here in just 1 second. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. FanDuel app is easy to navigate, and a variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Whether you're betting your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has got you covered. The Eagles Commanders line feels fishy to me. I think it's too high. I do think the Eagles win, but I think the Commanders, who have been like such a heroic late stage type of team, I think they cover. I think it's the thread the needle. The Eagles win, but the Commanders cover that game. So if you agree with me or if you think I'm an idiot, just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, before we finish, look at the numbers, man, this game. Thank you, of course, for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, go check out one of the other great shows here at the Locked On Network. You have Locked On Fantasy Hockey. If your fantasy hockey team needs some help, they got you covered there. You have plenty of stuff in there in the Bay Area. Locked On A's, Locked On Giants, Locked On Niners. Is Robert Saleh back? I know they've also started their draft coverage. Locked On Warriors. Plenty of great stuff here at the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. All right. This game, again, ridiculous. 42 minutes of 5-on-5. 42 minutes of 5-on-5. Again, 5-minute major. The Preds had 5 separate power plays in this game. 42 minutes. Shot attempts were 48-38 in favor of the Preds. Corsi 455.81 to 44.19 in favor of the Preds. Scoring chances 28-21 in favor of the Preds. 12-5 high danger chances. 2.26 to 1.14 expected goals for in favor of the Nashville Predators. And like, again, credit to the Sharks who really, especially that first period. Like you can see the fight happen, like it's shot attempts from like the Sharks, and then Nashville kind of really takes over, especially after their power play. You can see where the fight happens, and the Sharks just kind of respond there. But again, Nashville kind of just kept pushing in this game. For the forward line, so we had Macklin Celebrini to Foley. They played 8:49. 12-8 shot attempts, 4-5 actual shots, did give up 2 goals, 0.25 to 0.49 expected goals for, 6-5 scoring chances, 1-2 high danger chances for that line. Toffoli had a chance, like at the end of the game, they had a chance to tie it. I'm sure Toffoli's going to be thinking about that. Anyway, but I think once, I'm going to give Toffoli, give him a game or so to kind of get back into the swing of things after missing the last 2 games. Not worried about that line. That line is huge for the Sharks. We know what that line is for them. So, Zetterlund, Granlund, Smith, but 8:45, 11-12 shot attempts, 6-7 actual shots, had 2 goals for, 0.19 to 0.54 expected goals for that line. 6-6 scoring chances, 0-1 high danger chances. So again, like we've seen kind of some improvement from this line. They're starting to build some chemistry here. Good to see. Zetterlund, I know he scored a goal. I thought he had a kind of an up and down night too. Took a bad penalty that led to a goal early in the first period. Had a bad turnover that led to some extended zone time as well. So just, kind of nitpicking there, but good to see Granlund get back on the score sheet. And again, the Sharks, if they want to try to keep some sort of offense and not just a 1 or 2 goal game, like Granlund and this line need to continue to deliver. So Walker Dewar, newest Shark, Alex Wenberg and Kovalenko played 643, 4-2 shot attempts, 2-1 actual shots, had a goal. Congrats to Walker Dewar, his first NHL goal of the season, first goal with the Sharks. That's what you're going to get from Walker Dewar, right? Big dude, kind of plant himself. He skates pretty well. He didn't play a ton, and especially with with how this game went. Dewar played 852. The only guy who played less was Ty Dellandrea, who got knocked out of this game, which you would kind of expect, right? Especially in these close game situations. Dewar just got here. Like, you're not going to, I understand, like, not kind of asking him too much you literally just showed up, right? You don't know where the bathroom is, type of for performance. But, I think for the Sharks, especially if Ty Dellandrea is out, Klim Kostin is going to be out for several weeks. Nico Sturm, same thing, several weeks. Walker Dewar is going to get a real opportunity here in these bottom 6 minutes to try to kind of provide something or do something here. So, good start tonight for him. So, Ty Dellandrea, Luke Cunningham, and Barclay Goodrow. 642, 1 shot attempt, gave up 15, 1-7 actual shots, gave up a goal, 0.11 to 0.56 expected goals for, 1-10 scoring chances, 1-5 high danger chances. This line struggled tonight. And yes, I know they fought some dudes and stuff, but anytime this line got on the ice, the Preds basically like set up camp because they knew they were going to spend the next minute and a half plus just doing whatever they want in the offensive zone. Like, again, I know they fought dudes. That's great. But like, you got crushed. You got crushed by the Preds. They were circling, like they were licking their chops anytime this line came on because they knew exactly what was going to happen. And again, you get outshot 1-15 in less than 7 minutes of ice time. Not a good look for that line. So, yeah, tough night for them. For the defense tonight, more goals from the defense. I know Henry Thrun scored. That Mario Ferraro goal was very nice. I know Mario Ferraro, not a favorite of this podcast, but hats off to him on that goal. That goal was filthy. Absolute beautiful goal from him. Same thing. Henry Thrun, a nice goal as well. I think that was his first of the season. But the pairings tonight, Farrell Liljegren, I think, had one of their better games, 11-10 shot attempts, 52.38% Corsi for. Wallman CC, 50% Corsi, 16-16. Thrun Ruda, 5-16, 23.81% Corsi for that line, that pairing as well. So, Ruda, again, terrible, puck over glass. I hate the puck over glass because it's like, I know sometimes you have to puck off the glass and try to get it out, but it feels like if you just skate a little bit more, you probably set yourself in a better position to do something more productive than just bounce it off the glass and hope, So, I think Farrell Liljegren, I think, had one of their better pairings tonight. Liljegren, I thought, made some nice plays as well. Wallman was super distraught, or just kind of, you could tell tonight's loss, I think, kind of stuck with Wallman. So, but Yeah, that was a ridiculous game. So hopefully they're not all like this. So Sharks continue to per tankathon hold the number one spot right now. I know they are tied with points with Chicago. Sharks do have 4 games, or the Blackhawks have 4 games in hand. So Sharks have played 51 games. Chicago's played 47, and they're tied with 34 points. Sharks have now lost 5 in a row. It's a 2-horse race between Chicago and San Jose for that. Like Buffalo's third now with 41 points. It's going to come down to Chicago, San Jose for that first overall pick. And right now, if I'm picking, it's Matthew Schaefer. But we'll have plenty of time to continue to debate over those 4 guys. We'll start doing some draft profiles here, all that good stuff. So make sure you are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until Monday, bye, friends.